Welcome to the channel. Up next are amazing AI podcasters conjured by NotebookLM. They deep dive further into this video titled My Original Comic Book Universe. Journey the deep dives in this video are truly insightful, fun, and heartfelt. So grab a snack, sit back, and enjoy the video.
So I came across this absolutely wild story about creativity and, well, ambition. It's about how this one person is using a powerful new tool to make a massive, and I mean massive, dream come true. We're talking about someone building an entire comic book universe, all by themselves. And that quote right there, that's everything. This isn't about just creating one cool hero or a single storyline. Nope. From day one, the vision was just enormous. Something on the scale of the big publishers, all interconnected. But of course, that kind of ambition ran smack into a huge wall. And yeah, if you're trying to build a comic book universe, that's kind of the ultimate obstacle, right? It's a problem that sent him on this long, winding journey of trying every workaround, hitting dead ends, until a breakthrough came along that changed, well, absolutely everything. Okay, so let's really dig into that dream. What does an ambition that big actually look like? And what kind of headaches does it create right from the very start? You know, what's so interesting is the realization he had because of this. He figured out he couldn't just hire a writer for one story, because to explain that one story, he'd have to explain the next 10, and the 10 after that. The only way to really keep the whole thing together, to maintain the integrity of this giant, connected universe, was to do it all himself. So this decision to go it alone, it basically kicks off this period of intense struggle. I mean, before the AI tools we have today, trying to build a multimedia universe by yourself was just a frustrating uphill battle. You can really feel the grind here. He tried it all, building websites on Wix, posting on Tumblr, even thinking about self-publishing on Amazon. His first go at a YouTube channel was all text, and it failed to get monetized. But he didn't give up. He started a second channel, added an AI voice, and boom, it got monetized in just 2 months. A little victory, sure, but that huge visual problem was still there, which led him to places like Fiverr. This quote just nails the dilemma, doesn't it? Working with an artist on Fiverr was amazing. The energy was there, but the cost for a single image was completely unsustainable for a project with thousands of characters. So the bottom line is, the old school methods were just way too slow and way too expensive. But that whole experience, it was the perfect setup for the solution that was right around the corner. And here we go. This is the turning point. This is the moment when this new generation of AI tools finally showed up, giving a solo creator the exact powers he'd been looking for all along. I mean, just look at the difference here. The old way was a logistical nightmare, super expensive, always waiting on other people, juggling a dozen different apps. The AI way? It puts everything right in his hands. We're talking total creative control, one single toolkit for everything, and getting results in like seconds. It's a game changer. So what's in this all-in-one toolkit? Well, it's so much more than just making cool pictures. It's like a complete production house for a storyteller. AI helps with the writing, it generates all the art for characters and places, it creates the voiceovers, it composes the music, and it even helps keep all the complicated world-building details straight. And get this, he even used an AI music generator to cook up a 5-minute epic theme track for his entire universe. He describes it as pure adrenaline, something that works for the good guys and the bad guys. It just goes to show how deep this goes. It's not just a tool anymore, it's a full-on production studio. All right, so with this incredible new toolkit in hand, that abstract idea of a universe could finally become real, tangible, detailed. And the results are just staggering. To really get a sense of the scale here, we don't even have to look at the whole universe. Let's just zoom in on one single location he's been developing. A place called the Amazing River. Okay, just listen to the sheer amount of detail here. This one river separates 2 totally different islands. It's got 4 legendary super yachts cruising on it, a ghost ship, a secret underwater attraction, a pentagon-shaped military base, and oh yeah, a city literally floating in the sky right above it. That's how packed with ideas just one spot in this universe is.
And of course, these places are full of people. You might run into heroes like Power Guy, a guy named Atomic, or Lady Hope. Even the names have that perfect classic comic book vibe he's going for.
And they're not flying solo. You've got teams like the Spectaculars and Team Fierce, you've got alien races like the Grey Nodes, and these mysterious groups called the Winter Corps and the Black Titans. Every single name just makes you want to know more, like it's a whole new rabbit hole to dive down. And this number puts it all into perspective. The goal is to have over 50, that's 50, distinct characters for each major location. Now think about that. Multiplying that by all the cities and islands and planets he's building, the scale is just mind-boggling. And this quote just brings it all back to the human side of it. After years of hitting roadblocks, to suddenly see his entire universe burst into life this vividly, it's overwhelming. It's emotional. It's that feeling of a lifelong dream suddenly becoming real right in front of your eyes. So, what does this all add up to? What's the bigger picture here? Well, this very personal story plugs directly into the huge conversation that's happening everywhere right now about AI and creativity. You see, his whole creative philosophy isn't really about the tech. It's rooted in classic, powerful storytelling. He's taking his cues from shows like The Twilight Zone and masters like Hitchcock. His goal isn't just to make cool-looking images, it's to tell stories that actually have an emotional punch. And I just love this statement. You know, in a time when so much fiction is about tearing things down and deconstructing heroes, his mission is unapologetically positive and constructive. He wants to use these tools to build new worlds, to elevate the genre, and to add something genuinely exciting to the culture. Now, he's not ignoring the controversies around AI. He even brings up the concerns from unions like SAG-AFTRA, but he thinks that in the end, whether we all accept AI in creative fields is going to come down to one single crucial thing. And that's really the big question to leave you with. In a world that feels saturated with remakes, reboots, and sequels, could AI's greatest gift be empowering individual creators to build worlds that are completely new, completely original? Will it be those fantastic, never-before-seen stories that finally make us all embrace this new technology? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about for the future of entertainment.
To fully enjoy this portion of the video, please ensure CC, closed captions aka subtitle, is turned on.
When you think of an indie creator, you probably have a very specific image in your head.
Mm-hmm. Something small scale.
Yeah, small, intimate, maybe a podcast recorded in a closet. But you never, ever think indie and blockbuster in the same breath.
Because scale costs money. A lot of money. If you want to build a whole cinematic universe, you need a studio. You need like an army of artists.
But what if that whole assumption just breaks? What if one person with absolutely no budget, and this is the important part zero ability to draw, decides to build a Marvel-level universe from their laptop?
Well, that's exactly the question we're getting into today.
It is. We're looking at a source called the architect of an original AI comic universe. The creator just goes by Vandale.
And this is such a fascinating look at what you could call the one-person blockbuster studio. It's not just someone, making a few cool images.
Right.
This is about a fundamental shift in the whole creative process. Vandale is using the full stack of generative AI. Text, image, voice.
Music, too.
And music. Everything. To essentially bypass all the traditional gatekeepers and build this huge IP called the short story universe.
So the mission for this deep dive is to really figure out, is this actually possible? Can one person really do the work of, 300 people on a credit list?
Yeah, and the source frames this not just as a tech story, but as a huge shift towards creative autonomy, moving away from a model where you have to collaborate.
To one where you can if you want, but you're not a hostage to your own skill gaps.
Exactly.
And that skill gap, the inability to draw, that's really where this whole story begins. Vandale had what sounds like a writer's nightmare.
A total creative logjam. He had this dense, interwoven universe of stories in his head.
He said everything connects.
Right. So he couldn't just write one story, because to explain that one, you'd have to explain the next three.
And every time he looked at the traditional path, comics or graphic novels, he just hit a wall. If you can't draw it, it just stays in your head.
The gap between a script and a comic is usually, 50 grand in artist fees? Or, 5 years learning to draw.
So Vandale tried to bridge that gap the old-fashioned way first.
And this part of the story is so important. It shows this wasn't just about playing with new tech, it was about desperation to get the story told.
He did what he calls platform hopping. Started with ScriptBuddy, built a site on Wix, posted on Tumblr,
He even thought about just writing text novels for Amazon.
which, okay, solves the distribution problem. But you lose the whole medium if you see your story as this grand visual epic. Just putting it into text has to feel like a huge compromise.
A huge one. So he took the next step. He tried hiring help.
He went to Fiverr. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting, because he didn't have a bad experience at all.
No, quite the opposite,
He
actually.
hired a female artist for just one image, paid him premium for it, and Vandal says they were completely in sync. He felt locked in.
Which is the dream, right? That's
Yeah.
the holy grail of creative collaboration, when someone else just gets it.
Exactly. The art came back and it was perfect. It was exactly what was in his head.
And this is the big pivot.
He looks back on that now, that expensive, perfect human collaboration, and he realizes he can get that same synergy, that exact same locked-in feeling by himself, using AI.
That is a really controversial idea. We usually argue that, soul or synergy, that comes from human connection.
Right.
But Van Dale is basically arguing that the synergy is actually about the speed of translation. If the AI can get the idea from your brain onto the screen, like instantly.
The feedback loop is immediate.
Yes. And that feels just as real to the creator as talking to a human partner. You're not waiting 2 weeks for a sketch. You're just jamming with the machine.
And once he figured that out, the floodgates just opened. He didn't just make a character, he made a whole geography.
The sheer scale of the world building is what's so wild.
It's not just some generic city. He's mapped this place out with an almost obsessive level of detail. There's a body of water called the Amazing River.
And it divides these two massive land masses, Bay, Aura Island, and Cult Isle.
And it's not just boats. No, there are 4 legendary super yachts, each with its own lore. The Queen's Conquest, the King's Story.
And then there are threats, like a ghost ship and an underwater attraction.
Yeah, the Nin and the Pyronox, and there's a pentagon-shaped fortress called Fort Trove.
And on top of all that, a floating sky city.
New Kingdom, yeah. It floats high above the river.
Think about that. In a traditional production, every single one of those. The underwater base, the sky city, the yacht. That's a different concept artist, a different budget.
And Van Dale is just generating them. He's directing the whole fleet.
And the AI keeps it all consistent. He can put 50 characters in each location because the cost of making a background character is the same as the main hero. It's, 0.
He called this his aha moment. He realized these details make the world, and I'm quoting, familiar enough to understand instantly, but deep enough to explore endlessly.
That's the sweet spot for sci-fi, isn't it? Too weird, you lose people. Too generic, they get bored.
But scenery is just wallpaper if you don't have a cast. And this is where the one-person blockbuster idea really gets put to the test. Can AI create characters you actually care about?
Or at least characters that are distinct enough that you can follow a story.
Well, the names alone show he's having a blast with it. Clint Reeves, who's Power Guy, Dita Von Cage is Lady Hope.
And the groups, the Woblins, the Grey-Knot aliens, it sounds like you just opened up a giant toy box.
It does. But there's this one moment in the source material that really stopped me. He talks about a group called the Black Titans.
Yeah, that was the emotional core of the whole piece, I think.
He describes seeing them fully realized through an AI generation. And his reaction wasn't just, oh, that's a cool render. He wrote, I might actually pass out. He said, that's how real this feels.
We really have to pause on that for a second. That's a huge psychological shift. We talk about AI as this cold, robotic thing.
Right, a utility.
But here you have a creator having a visceral, physical reaction to the art. The AI didn't just make a picture, it validated his imagination. It made the invisible visible.
It's like seeing your imaginary friends just walk right into the room.
And that emotional connection, that locked-in feeling, that's what he's chasing. It kind of suggests that for the creator, the real satisfaction is just seeing the vision exist no matter who or what was holding the brush.
But having the visuals, that was only half the battle. We mentioned the platform hopping earlier, so he had the story, he had the art. He went to YouTube.
And created the Short Story Universe channel.
And nothing.
Crickets. Because a key piece of the puzzle was still missing.
It was just scrolling text, it was silent.
And on YouTube, silent text is death. You're competing with Mr. Beast. You can't ask people to just sit there and read.
So it failed. No monetization. But he didn't give up. He realized the medium was the problem, not the story. So he created a second channel, Short Story Universe Audio.
And this is where that full stack idea really comes into play.
Yep. He added AI voiceovers to narrate everything. The result, monetized in about 2 months.
Which is such a perfect A/B test. The core content, the art, the writing, it didn't change.
No.
But adding that one sensory layer of audio, it bridged the gap between being a document and being an experience.
And it wasn't just voices. He went full composer on this thing.
Using Suno AI for the score.
Vandale made this 5-minute, 20-second epic theme track. He describes it as pure adrenaline. But listen to this detail. He says, "I swear I hear Superman's laser beams in the very beginning of the track."
That's such a telling comment. The AI made the sound, but the creator is the one projecting his own meaning, his own lore onto it.
It's like an auditory hallucination that becomes canon.
Exactly. It creates this feedback loop. The AI does something, it sparks a new idea in the creator's mind. Oh, that's laser beams. And the universe just gets a little bigger. It shows the AI isn't just taking orders, it's actually stimulating his imagination.
So we've got the writing, the visuals, the voice, the music, all from one person. It sounds like the ultimate creative dream. But we have to look at the reality here. You can't talk about AI in any creative field without talking about the massive union-sized elephant in the room.
This is where the one-person blockbuster runs headfirst into the entire established industry.
Vandale brings this up himself. He cites the SAG-AFTRA stance. The Actors Union has been, incredibly firm on this. They condemn the blatant infringement of using actors in AI videos.
And rightly so. If you're an actor, you're facing your voice. That's your livelihood. The idea that a studio can just scan you and use your digital puppet forever.
It's terrifying, of course it is.
It's an existential threat to your career.
And Vandale acknowledges that anger. But he offers a defense that I think is really important to understand. It all hangs on one word: originality.
This is the core distinction, right, between a deepfake and a generation.
Exactly. Vandale argues the real backlash is about people using AI to make, Brad Pitt say something he never said, or stealing a voice actor's specific sound. Vandale's whole point is, I am creating original characters. Power Guy is not Henry Cavill. Lady Hope is not Gal Gadot.
And that's the legal and ethical gray area, isn't it? If the AI was trained on pictures of Henry Cavill to learn what a superhero looks like, is Power Guy truly original? Or is he just a statistical mashup of every superhero movie ever made?
That's the much deeper question. But Vandale takes a very pragmatic view on it. He basically believes that if the characters feel new and the storytelling is great, the audience just won't care.
Originality is the deciding factor. That's the quote.
It's a huge gamble. He's betting that we, as an audience, care more about the experience of the story than the method of how it was made.
And, history is kind of on his side. When synthesizers first came out, people said it wasn't real music.
Right, because no one was plucking a string.
And now synth pop is a whole genre. When digital cameras replaced film, people said it lacked soul. Now it's the standard.
So you think audiences could just accept AI actors in the same way?
If the story works.
Ah.
I think so, yeah. Vandale says using AI to create original characters along with fantastic storytelling is going to be the big deciding factor.
Yeah.
If you're laughing or crying, if you feel locked in, are you really going to stop and question who drew the nose?
The locked-in philosophy.
It completely changes the definition of what a creator is. Vandale isn't an illustrator or a composer or a voice actor.
He's the architect.
The architect, I like that. It shifts the role from making the thing to guiding the vision.
And that allows for a scale that was just impossible before. Vandale says this is only the very tip of the iceberg. He sees AI as the tool that finally lets him bypass the gatekeepers completely.
It's a total shift from, I hope a studio buys my script, to I am the studio.
It really is the democratization of the blockbuster.
Which is both incredibly exciting and pretty terrifying, depending on where you sit in the current industry.
Because if Vandale is right, and one person can actually produce a whole universe that can compete with Marvel or DC,
then the value of the studio as a gatekeeper starts to collapse. If you don't need their money for effects or their contacts for actors, what do you need them for? Marketing.
Maybe, but he's doing that on YouTube too. So we've gone from a writer who couldn't draw a stick figure to the architect of a universe with floating cities and ghost ships and dozens of characters, all by using this tech stack.
It's a real testament to persistence. The tools are new, but that drive, that platform-hopping desperation to just get the story out, that's as old school as it gets.
It's a strange paradox, isn't it? The tools are completely artificial, but the motivation is so deeply human.
And the reaction passing out from excitement is definitely human.
So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. We spend all this time debating the ethics, the copyright, the training data, and those conversations are vital. We have to have them. But looking at Van Dale's short story universe, we have to ask a different question. If a story makes you laugh, if it makes you cry, if it makes you feel locked in.
Does the audience actually care if the pencil was held by a human hand or by a machine?
That's the billion-dollar question. And I think Van Dale is betting everything he has on the answer being no.
I think you're right.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you in the next universe.
Stay curious.
Thanks for watching. Want to support the channel directly? My PayPal link is down in the description and also on my homepage. It helps me with creating more epic comic book content for this channel. Stay curious, keep imagining, and I'll see you in the next video.